Hey, what's up everyone? This week we're going to take a look at Shantotto. She's one of the Marksman characters in this game, and her moveset is one of a typical Marksman with nothing too out of the ordinary. She's got a lot of long-range projectiles, as well as a dash attack projectile that drains bravery over time from a target if it connects. The unique thing about Shantotto is that she has two different modes. In her default mode that she starts in, all of her projectiles are pretty large, and so they cover a large area when they explode and deal damage. When she drops down to 2500 HP or less, she switches into her second mode, which changes her moveset entirely. It's the same type of attacks, but the projectiles are now much smaller, faster, and she shoots out multiple ones at a time. She also gains a little bit of additional movement speed. So depending on who you're fighting against, this could be good or bad. If you're fighting a lot of fast characters, it's going to be much easier to connect with attacks in her second form because they're faster. But if you're hanging back and have the liberty to kind of just keep firing attacks from a distance without being harassed, it might be easier to hit with some of the larger projectiles. Either way, it's something to keep note of during the fight. Even if your HP is healed back to full, she stays in that second mode until she dies, so there's really no way to change out of it. So aside from that, her X skill gives her an attack that gives her temporary invulnerability and deals a lot of bravery damage to targets in front of her. It can be a strong move to use when you're surrounded by enemies so that you can stall for your teammates to save you, and it can also be good just for dealing damage to unsuspecting enemies. Outside of that, she doesn't really have much utility to bring to the team outside of just dealing damage. That might be why she's one of the least popular characters in the arcades. There's not really anything she can do that other Marksman characters can't. Anyways, the first YouTuber we're going to follow is Tae-chan, a top-ranked Shantotto player. The HP attack he's going to use is Retribution, which is a close-range boomerang attack. It's pretty quick, so it's good for hitting anyone kind of lingering around Shantotto. Alright, so let's hop into our first match here. Alright, so starting it off here, blue team is going to be Shantotto, Onion Knight, and Lightning, and they're going up against Cecil, Vaughn, and Garland. Alright, so if you kind of notice there on that screen, the HP attack that Onion Knight is using is Meteor, so he's going to be able to play that kind of long-range combo finishing role. Sometimes Shantotto's doing that, but like I said, she's using a close-range HP attack, so he's going to be able to fill that gap. Alright, so anyways, starting off the match here, Shantotto, as typical of a Marksman character, she doesn't want to be up close to anyone's faces, so you see her just kind of running away here. Cecil's trying to chase her down, so she actually just caught him with an attack. And let me real quick just kind of explain what her attacks usually are like. Okay, so just as like a general rule for Shantotto, her neutral aerial and her neutral ground attacks, it's the fireball that she shoots out in the air, and then that ice freeze attack that she shoots out on the ground. Those are just kind of basic long-range projectiles that she can shoot out and deal some damage. And her forward aerial and her forward ground are kind of slow-moving, zoning attacks that she can kind of use both to keep people away and just to kind of zone them out and make them move around her. This tornado that she's doing right now, that's her forward ground attack, and like I said, it's going to be kind of a slow-moving attack. If anyone tries to come close to her, you know, they'll run into it. And in the air, it's like a large sphere of water, but it has the kind of the same concept. It just slowly moves in front of Shantotto. And then her backward aerial and her backward ground attacks are going to be kind of long-range AoE attacks. On the ground, it's like a quake attack that just pops up under the enemy, and in the air, it's like a lightning attack that just kind of pops up where the enemy's at. So each of her attacks have like a specific use depending on what situation you're in, and usually you'll kind of see her using her straightforward projectiles whenever she's away from the enemy. But anyways, just wanted to kind of explain that so you'll kind of understand why she's using each attack. So she's using that tornado there just because Cecil was kind of close and she wasn't sure if he was going to move towards her. So she's using that projectile attack now that she's kind of making some distance. She actually catches Cecil with her Retribution HP attack. She did a good job of not losing any bravery so far in this game. She hasn't been hit yet, so she built it up pretty well and was able to pick up a kill there on Cecil since he was so close by. So Cecil actually catches her with an attack there and knocks her away, just losing a little bit of bravery though. She's now throwing out that ice attack. Like I said, it's just a long-range projectile there. She throws out that tornado because she sees Vaughn might come to her, but his attack actually pierces through other attacks, so he's actually able to move through that and connect with an HP attack there on Shantotto. So now that she's dropped down her HP enough, she's going to actually be in that secondary form here. So now her attacks are going to be in multiples, they're going to be smaller and they're going to be faster, so I'll point those out as we see them. She's using her X skill there on the Summoning Stone because Garland was close by. She thought she could maybe hit him with it as well, but he actually was able to dodge it. And now you see red team is going to be bringing out Ifrit here. They were able to summon now, so blue team's going to have to watch out for that. Shantotto's kind of keeping some distance here from the red team. She's just kind of trying to stay away from them. You see her backing up now. And you kind of see how her projectiles are a lot smaller now. She just threw out that ice attack again. She actually got hit there by Ifrit, knocked her away a little bit. But still, she's just kind of trying to stay away from the red team here. Now she's throwing out that fireball projectile, so you see how much smaller that is as well. And something else to keep in mind now that she has this these projectiles here where she's shooting them out multiple times, she's going to be locked in a lot longer attack animation, so she's going to have to be careful not to let the red team punish her for that while she's in the middle of attack animation. So you see red team is all kind of coming close on her, so she uses that X skill because it gives her some invulnerability. but the red team just kind of waited it out. Blue team wasn't really in a position to save her, so Garland was able to just hit her with an HP attack as soon as it ends. She's rushing kind of back into the battle here. Red team is kind of staying grouped up, and she's just kind of backing up as she's using her attacks. She actually summons here with the rest of her team. They're going to bring out Ramuh. Red team is trying to punish her for that. You saw her shielding Vaughn's attack, and Garland's kind of moving in. We'll see. So Garland tried to use the HP attack, and Cecil did as well. She's able to dodge both of them, though. Lightning wasn't so lucky. She actually did get caught and killed there by the red team, though. So even on the HP bars. So Garland was kind of moving in there. She caught him with that retribution attack. He's a little slow, so she's able to throw that out before he could react to it. As she was doing that, though, Cecil was able to pick up the kill on her while she's in that attack animation. So trading out some life bars there. Both teams with only one left. So looks like both teams are kind of in this corner here. Red team got caught by Ramuh. So Shantotto immediately rushes in, uses that retribution, and does deal some HP damage to Vaughn, but not quite enough to kill. She got kind of caught on that pillar there, so Garland was able to combo her with a wall rush. She uses that water attack, it's called Flood, knocks Garland up in the air. Onion Knight tried to combo with him, but it knocked him up too high, so Meteor wasn't able to connect. So Lightning's kind of dashing in. You see Onion Knight immediately uses that Meteor, following up with Lightning's attack, and picking up the last kill of the game there on Garland, and finishing off the red team. So a pretty good game there by the blue team. Really a close match between both of these two teams, but blue team is able to clutch it out there in the end. Shantotto had a really good performance, I think. She did a really good job of kind of sneaking in that retribution HP attack. Anytime someone was close or in a bad situation, she just kind of dashed in, used it. It's a really quick attack, so she's able to kind of throw it out and pick up some good HP damage. Also, you were kind of able to see her moveset here, and kind of like I explained at the very beginning, you kind of saw the different situations when she was using her attacks. Whenever people were close by, you kind of saw her throw out that tornado, throwing out that flood attack, just kind of trying to keep people away. Otherwise, she can be a monster whenever she has some space, because she can throw out that projectile, that neutral projectile that she has, the fireball or the freeze attack. She can pick up a lot of bravery with those if people aren't stopping her. Kind of like most marksmen, you know, whenever they can play their own game, they can build up a ton of bravery. So yeah, really good game by Shantotto there. Alright, so moving on to the second match here, we're actually going to switch YouTubers to a YouTuber named Korn, who's also a really good Shantotto player. He's got a lot of Shantotto videos on his channel. And we're actually going to change HP attacks as well to one called Divine Malison. And that's basically Shantotto's version of a long-range combo finishing attack, similar to Terra's Meteor or Onion Knight's Meteor. It's basically just like an area of effect attack that she can cast from, you know, a faraway distance to follow up on other teammates' combos. So a lot of marksman characters have that kind of attack, and it's typically really strong, and it's no different for Shantotto. Alright, so what we've got here is Shantotto, Titus, and Furion for the blue team, going up against Titus, YOSHITAKA, and Vaughn for the red team. So kind of similar teams here in terms of composition. Blue team is balanced. They've got an assassin, they've got a marksman, and a vanguard, so they got pretty much everything covered. So off the bat, Shantotto's just throwing out some of her projectiles here. She actually catches Vaughn with that Divine Malison. He was kind of stuck in his attack animation, so she caught that immediately and was able to pick up some damage on him. But she's now just throwing out projectiles again. She uses that Flood projectile. It kind of splits up the red team. They were all grouped up, but in just trying to avoid it, they all kind of moved away. The red team's Titus is kind of sharking behind them, though. You see Shantotto kind of turn her attention to him, throwing out that Flood attack as well, just trying to dissuade him from attacking. He does move in, though. Shantotto's able to guard the attacks, though, so no damage dealt. The blue team Titus actually catches red team Titus in an attack, so while red team Titus is stuck in that, Shantotto throws out the Divine Malice, and once again, picking up some damage on him. And here you see YOSHITAKA is actually caught in Furion's attack combo there, and she's throwing out the Divine Malice, and once again, picking up some good damage there on YOSHITAKA. Red team Titus is moving towards her, though. He uses Spiral Cut, but she's able to just dodge out of the way and avoid the damage. So once again, she's throwing out that Flood projectile attack here just because everyone's really close together, a lot of close range here, and it deals a lot of damage and has a lot of knockback associated with it, so she's kind of throwing that out, and that way if anyone charges towards her, it's going to surely hit them and knock them away. She's throwing it out once again there, and you see YOSHITAKA actually got caught once again by Furion with his attack, so she throws out that Divine Malison, once again dealing a ton of HP damage to YOSHITAKA. She does get caught by red team Titus's Spiral Cut, but he didn't have any bravery, so he didn't actually deal any HP damage. So definitely a good trade for the blue team. And looks like blue team Titus actually picked up a kill there on Vaughn, finishing him off and picking up the first kill of the game for the blue team. So Shantotto's quickly moved over to the Summoning Stone and started dealing some damage to it. YOSHITAKA once again gets caught by Furion, so Shantotto follows up with that Divine Malice, and once again, finally picking up the kill there on YOSHITAKA, dropping red team down to 1 health bar left. So blue team is going to go ahead and do their summon here. Ramuh's going to be active. While Titus was in that summon animation, Vaughn actually came back and picked up the kill on him, so dropping blue team down to 2 health bars now. So The blue team's kind of grouped up here, throwing out some of their buffs here. So it looks like one of the members on the blue team caused the Doom debuff on the blue team, which is what that number is. So once that number ticks down all the way to 0, their bravery is going to be broken, and they're going to go all the way back down to 0 and then count back to 1,000 bravery. So fortunately for Shantotto, she didn't have too much bravery, so it wasn't too much loss there. So Furion is doing an AoE attack, so Shantotto immediately throws out her projectiles to try to combo with it, but Titus actually caught Furion with Slice and Dice and was able to move away with the mobility off of that. So looks like red team's kind of moving away a little bit. Everyone's kind of grouped up here though, so Shantotto needs to be careful. She actually catches Titus with a flood attack as he was moving in. She throws out Divine Malison, but isn't comboing. She's just kind of throwing it out, so it does actually miss, and red team follows up, punishes her for it with some projectiles, and then Vaughn caught her with an attack. So there's some dueling going on here. Furion actually catches Titus with an attack. Shantotto uses her projectile, just trying to build up some bravery because everybody on the red team has a lot of health except for Vaughn. So she's just going to try to build up her bravery on them because she can't kill them in one hit. So now that Vaughn's kind of isolated though, you see everyone kind of turn their attention towards him. You kind of see that Titus, off in the distance, has caught him with an attack because Vaughn had used his ground 0 HP attack, which was a counter, but it didn't connect with anybody, nobody hit the counter. And he saw Furion right in front of him, so he instinctively just kind of tried to dodge away. But all of blue team had kind of turned their attention towards him, so Titus caught him in an attack. You see Shantotto is just about to cast her HP attack. Furion's going to get his off first, but if Furion didn't pick up the kill there, Shantotto definitely was just about to. So great job by the blue team, a lot of really good combos there with them. I like this match a lot just because you kind of saw the combo potential with Shantotto's HP attack there. Really, the MVP of all those is Furion. He has such a great combo character. But you see that Shantotto's great for following up on that. She's got that Divine Malison, and also she's able to build up her bravery quite a lot with some of her attacks, especially towards the end there, which would leverage her to be able to pick up kills if this game had dragged on further. You saw there was a lot of focus on that flood attack that Shantotto had, and that's mostly because the red team had a lot of mobility. Whenever you have a Titus on the other team, you have to be really careful, and especially this map in particular, everyone was really close together there. There was not a lot of distance in between them at any one point. So Flood is a really good attack to use, whenever people are really close by. It's going to prevent them from getting too close to you. And it has a lot of knockback as well. Especially considering the fact that she never took any HP damage, so she was always in that, default form. She never really had those quick projectiles with that extra mobility speed that she gets whenever she's in that form. So she had to play particularly careful here around that. So yeah, really great game here by Shantotto. Good job by the blue team to pick up that win there. Alright, so going into our last matchup here, we're going to be following the same YouTuber, and he's going to be using the same HP attack here. So we've got the blue team, which is going to be Shantotto, Bartz, and Cloud, and they're going up against Lightning, Vaughn, and Terra. So kind of similar to the last game, the team compositions are really similar. They both each have a Marksman, and also all 6 of these players have pretty good long-range poke here. All these characters can kind of do that. So you see both teams here just kind of trading out their poke a little bit. Shantotto's trading some bravery there, hitting, and then she got hit. Overall, she's a little bit ahead here, but you kind of just see both teams staying with their group, not trying to get caught out by anybody, and, just throwing out their poke. So we'll wait for the poke game to end here. Looks like everyone's kind of moving a little bit to the right here, still just throwing out some of those long-range projectiles, though. The Summoning Stone starts to spawn, Shantotto moves over towards it, and Vaughn actually knocks her away. She's going to use that time, though, to just kind of poke at it with her lightning attack here, the targeted spell that she has. She's going to throw out that Divine Mouse and not actually connect with anybody. But I do want to point out something, though. It's something specific about this map. I don't talk about map choice a lot, but it actually can have a big impact on the game, or at least on what moves you decide to use. So you kind of saw Shantotto throw out that Divine Mouse and kind of, willy-nilly, without a combo or anything like that. And right now she's using that Quake attack here on the enemies here. And the reason why that's a lot safer on this map as opposed to something like Besaid or the Final Fantasy 13 map is because there's all these structures that kind of mess with your ability to see your opponents, and it kind of messes, everyone's on a different level. You see the 2 members on red team here are above Shantotto. They can't actually see her or see what spell she's casting. So she can kind of throw out those targeted spells like that Quake or that Lightning without anyone really noticing her doing it. Unless they kind of see the effect around them. But if they're in the middle of doing a different attack or, something else, not paying attention, it can really easily catch them off guard. As opposed to, on a flat map where they can see her doing that, so it's a lot easier to dodge it. You can much easier catch people off guard here. The same goes for her HP attack too, because it kind of has those same properties where it's just a targeted spell. So keep that in mind here as the match progresses. You see she's kind of throwing out that Quake here. It looks like the enemy team is kind of caught on to what she's doing, so she didn't connect with both of those. but, you know, it's something that might be a factor later on in this match. Alright, so once again, she's throwing out that Divine Malice in here, just seeing if she can connect with anybody, but no luck so far. Red team is really kind of staying grouped up here, so it's making it kind of difficult for her allies to really get in since they're both melee heavy. She does get hit there by Vaughn, kind of knocked away a little bit. The Summoning Stone once again pops up here, so she's going to attack that, and she actually catches Lightning with her Lightning attack. Looks like Lightning and Vaughn are actually focusing on Cloud there, so Shantotto was able to use that Divine Malice and pick up some HP damage on them. While that was happening, Terra actually picked up the first kill of the game there on Cloud, putting Red Team ahead by 1 HP bar. So you see here, something that's been happening a lot in this game is that Vaughn has been kind of rushing in and doing bravery attacks on Shantotto in the middle of her spellcast. And once again, you see him kind of trying to do that, but Shantotto's finally kind of caught on to that and adapted to it. So what she's doing now, she's using that Binga X skill that she has. It's going to stop Vaughn dead in his tracks, immobilize him, and he's going to fall to the ground right there, and then she's going to follow it with that Divine Malice and doing a ton of HP damage to Vaughn. So a really good job of Shantotto to kind of adapt to that, realize what Vaughn's been doing, wait for him to do it again, and then use that X skill. So you see Bartz is kind of attacking Vaughn there. Shantotto's actually going to throw out that Divine Malice and again doing a little bit more HP damage, but the red team has that HP regain X skill going on, so it's not been quite enough to kill Vaughn yet. Blue team was summoning there. They finally got Ramuh active here. Vaughn tried to punish Shantotto for it and he hit her, but Bartz actually punished Vaughn for doing that and picked up the kill there on Vaughn finally. The first kill of the game there for the blue team. So Bartz is kind of moving in here on Terra with Shantotto. Looks like they're kind of trying to double team her and try to pick up another kill. She's pretty low on health here. Looks like Shantotto's just kind of following her around here. Bartz is actually going to catch her in a bravery attack, and Shantotto throws out that Divine Malice in just in time right before Vaughn can stop her and picks up another kill for the blue team there, finishing off Terra. So as I'm saying that, looks like Lightning actually picked up a kill there on Bartz after he was finishing up with that attack on Terra. So now we got an even game here, both teams having 1 health bar left. Lightning is going to knock away Shantotto here. And it looks like Vaughn is kind of isolated in the corner here. And I just kind of want to point out, so Shantotto has kind of moved away. Let me go a little bit further. So Shantotto's moved towards Vaughn. She's noticed that Cloud and Vaughn are kind of dueling and they're kind of focusing on each other. So she's throwing out that Divine Malice in again, and I just want to point this out specifically because it kind of highlights what I was saying a second ago about the structures. Vaughn can't see Shantotto at all, so, you know, he's not going to really be able to react quickly to this Divine Malice. Now, as you can kind of tell, Cloud actually finished off Vaughn in this situation. He actually picked up the kill on him while this was going on. But if he was a half second slower, or if Vaughn had gotten the upper hand somehow on Cloud and had picked up the kill on, or was trying to pick up the kill on him, Shantotto would have connected with that Divine Malice and finished off Vaughn. So even though she didn't quite get the kill, you know, her mindset was right, and she probably would have finished him off in any other situation. So really good play there by Shantotto. She wasn't quite the scene stealer, but she did a really good job of, you know, being a good support character. She was where she needed to be a lot of the time. You know, she was there to kind of combo with Bartz to pick up those first 2 kills, even though he got the first one. She was kind of working with him, and she did actually pick up the second one, you know, with a combo with Bartz. And like I was just saying, she would have got that third one if Cloud didn't pick it up first. So yeah, really strong play here by Shantotto, and I hope these 3 games kind of gave you a good overview of how Shantotto works. You know, she has pretty good strong projectiles. Her Divine Malice is a pretty good HP attack, you know, just like Terra's Meteor or Ramza's Holy or things like that. Those targeted area HP attacks are really strong, so it's usually really important to have at least one of those on your team. So like I kind of said at the beginning of the video, Shantotto isn't really popular right now, but I think part of that is because Shantotto can kind of be a difficult character to play and also a difficult character to kind of really know how to fit into a team. She doesn't really bring a specific niche to the team. Like, for example, you look at Emperor and his traps, or YOSHITAKA with her debuffs. Ace has a lot of speed. Things like that kind of make it obvious to say, okay, this is when I need to use this character or that character. But the thing about Shantotto is just that she's really strong. And one thing I didn't really point out in the matches because I didn't really notice it too much happening, but the specific thing about Shantotto that does really give her an edge is that her attacks have higher priority than most of the marksmen. And priority is not something I've really talked about much, mostly because I don't really know of any English resources that have this, you know, specific information per attack, so I don't want to say anything incorrect. But what I do know is that Shantotto's attacks do have really high priority. And when I say that, I mean they take precedence over another projectile. So let's say, for example, Shantotto is firing an attack at Terra, Terra's firing a projectile back at Shantotto. So whenever those 2 projectiles collide, Shantotto's is going to be the one to pass through Terra's and, you know, connect with Terra if she's still standing in place. Whereas Terra's projectile is going to get kind of eaten by Shantotto's projectile. Now, not every single projectile will follow those rules, and some of them just completely ignore priority. But that is definitely a bonus for Shantotto. So if she's in like a marksman versus marksman duel, she's gonna usually kind of have that edge, mostly because of that, and like I said, her attacks have a lot of damage. So like I said, she's kind of a difficult character to really know when to bring out, because other marksman characters can fill more obvious roles, but she can be strong whenever you know what you're doing, and also just the fact that she deals the most damage on average compared to other marksmen usually means that she's not a bad pick either way. So if you guys enjoyed these Shantotto videos, definitely take a look at the two YouTubers I've got down below. I've got their links there to their channels. You know, they're both really good Shantotto players, so I would definitely recommend that if you like these videos. Thanks as always for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys again next week for another video. Have a good one.